You thought the junior road tax second heat was going to be one that was going to have a lot of action. Just check out the field we have for senior road tax. Groups A and C. This is heat number 2. Lewis Gilbert and Matthew Higgins make it a Scotland-Wales. It sounds like a rugby match. Scotland-Wales front row, even though they are both from Great Britain. Andreas Hebauer and Teddy Clinton. That is row number 2. Mads Ries from Denmark and Harry Thompson on row number 3. Victor Plateau and Dylan LaHaye make it an all-Belgian row 4, ahead of the returning Robert de Haan, who I caught up with this morning. Blimey, that kid's shot up. He's taller than me. and I'm not exactly short to a point. He's got Maurice Schuring alongside him on the end of row number 5, completing the top 10. Emily de Hoys, of course, today is International Women's Day. We do have several women competitors and also mums, mechanics in the pit lane, people on social media and also through our BNL karting series team. So happy International Women's Day. I have to give that a shout out. That is being broadcasted over social media. Emily de Hoys rounds out the top 11 ahead of Arthur Roche. Then we've got Luca Thiel, Oscar Hall, Storm Breuer, Harley Horton, Robin Knutson, Lars Zanen, Antoine Ontier. We've then got Sena Behetz, Bart de Wit, Yashram Jankan, Christopher Saxe, Jeff Mahils, Stefan Christensen. Bradley Barrett will start on 26th position ahead of Jaroslav Zimaszka. Could I call that driver number 144, Minimax, Sem Bollen, to the stewards immediately, please? That's Sem Bollen, Minimax driver 144, to the stewards immediately, please. The excitement level, I think, not just in the commentary box, but probably on the screens, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, is going to go up another level. I'm going to try and do my level best to keep up with this because 27 senior road tax drivers, 7 minutes now set on the clock. They better get into formation quickly because this could be the full start of the day if they're not careful. 27 drivers, 7 minutes plus 1 additional lap. We head into the tram lines. The road tax rule returns for this race. We go lights out and racing, and Higgins gets the lead. And Teddy Clinton goes round the outside of Lewis Gilbert. Then you've got Harry Thompson up into 3rd. Gilbert squeezed out a little bit wide. That looks like Mads Ries up into 4th place as it's side by side towards the bottom part of the top 15 going through turn 5. But now, that was a great start from Matthew Higgins. Just punched the throttle when he needed to. Teddy Clinton went with him. Harry Thompson. Now, where is Lewis Gilbert? Gilbert's down in, that looks to be 8th or 9th position at the minute. So Gilbert having to now fight back. The young Scot, based out of Dory. The first half of his nickname, and if you haven't heard it by now, you'll know it now, as it is the Dorey Diamond. As Victor Plateau, I think, battling away with the likes of Gilbert. Oh, that's very close. No, Dylan LaHaye is in there. Robert de Haan is also trying to make his presence known. Now, Robert has had... he's been racing in Italy quite recently. I heard a bit of a story. He's been using other people's race helmets, so including a certain photographer, Vincent from FM Images. Good to catch up with him yesterday. So good to see that Robert's here with us. He was like, oh yeah, last minute call up or last minute decision. Good that he's on the grid, because we could expect some fireworks from him, and he was very accomplished as a junior. Now we can see him in full flight as a senior road tax driver, whilst Mads Ries is going up the inside of Harry Thompson through turn number 10, and that is for 2nd on the road. Higgins is running away with it at the minute. We've got 5 minutes and 10 plus an additional lap to go. So Matthew Higgins has a comfortable 1.5 second cushion over Mads Ries, who has Thompson, Clinton, now Gilbert, LaHaye, Hebauer, Schuring, de Haan, Plateau. That's the top 10. Horton all the way down into what is 27th position. Emily de Hoys is not that far away from Victor Plateau. Give that 0.5 of a second. And the JJ Racing driver from the Netherlands has made the move, I think. I think she has got into the top 10. Now the work can start. That's great work from Emily de Hoys. She's going to get very close. Well, yeah, it's not quite happened yet. She's still behind Plateau, as that was a send and a half from Gilbert up the inside of Teddy Clinton. Clinton runs wide. LaHaye capitalises and goes up the inside of the Brit. Here comes Andreas Hebert. Meanwhile, Schuring in the 3:15, that's Maurice Schuring, is being pressurised and gets slipstreamed past by Robert de Haan going into turn 2. And then you look a little bit further down the order. I think I've just been keeping an eye on what's been happening a little bit further back. Storm Bro's in the mix, Oscar Hall is in the mix, Yashram Jankan is as well, Bot Zavit down there in 18th, Jeff Machiels in 19th. Christopher Saxa, Antoine Antier, that's the bottom part of the top 21. As now Higgins had a 1.1 second lead over Mads Rees. That was quite a bit quicker. 54.916 from the Dane, whilst oh my goodness, Antoine Antier makes an absolute hornet's mess of that one going into turn 10. And that was very, very lucky for Teddy Clinton. But Robert de Haan is ahead. De Haan's now up into 6th and trying to pressurise LaHaye for 5th. As now Mads Rees, Harry Thompson and Lewis Gilbert now have to start chasing Matthew Higgins. Higgins has only got a 1 second lead. We have under 3 minutes to go, plus an additional lap, as Mads Rees will get slingshotted past by Harry Thompson into turn number 7. Now, I think we might have a replay coming up very shortly. Let's have a look at this one. So there's Thompson, there's Rees, there's Gilbert. Clinton, Clinton was on the back bumper of Andreas Hebert, and Hebert nearly gets pushed into the path of Dylan LaHaye. So it was nothing to do with, it was not Andreas Hebert's fault. I think probably when he tried to put on the anchors, he might have just snapped the back axle and had an assist from Teddy Clinton there. But that is not my decision on what happens next, because that is down to race control. As Lewis Gilbert goes up the inside of Mads Rees for 3rd place through turn 2. And you could just see under the brakes that Gilbert, the back end of Gilbert's cart was a bit squirrely, as Teddy Clinton trying to fend off Dylan LaHaye for what is P5 at the minute. But this is going to allow the likes of Robert de Haan, Maurice Schuring, now Emily de Hoys up into 9th place. So the 373 trying to get past the 315 as, oh, that's getting very, very close there. Going through, now that was, just seeing who that was, that's Jeff Machiels. And in front of him is Bradley Barrett, who's putting on a recovery drive. The only reason why I can spot him is because he's wearing his Team GB overalls from last year. Good man. Representing country and colour proudly there is Bradley Barrett. So at the moment, Matthew Higgins still leads, but by 0.8 of a second. And on that last lap alone, Harry Thompson was over 0.2 of a second quicker, as LaHaye coming under pressure from de Haan, de Hoys, Schuring, Thiel. It's absolute pandemonium on who is going to end up where, as Emily de Hoys, I think, is on the back bumper possibly of Teddy Clinton. Now, where is Robert de Haan in all of this? He's actually at the back of the train. So a little stumble from de Haan there, and that puts him behind. I think that's Victor Plateau that he's behind at the minute. So Dylan LaHaye trying to get away from Teddy Clinton, who has got Emily de Hoys up close and personal with a rear bumper. So de Hoys definitely looking menacing right now, and behind is Maurice Schuring. We go into the last 30 seconds. Matthew Higgins at the moment has a gap of just under 0.7 of a second between himself and Harry Thompson. As there's a move, that's the move up the inside of Teddy Clinton from Emily de Hoys. De Hoys has made the move stick, and behind there is absolute madness. If that is not a hornet's nest of senior road tax, I don't know what is. As two go off at the exit of turn 6. Who was one of them? That could have been Andreas Hebert again. He had one unwanted incident earlier, and that might have been the second for the Frenchman. We're now onto the penultimate lap of this race. Matthew Higgins is now having both Harry Thompson and Lewis Gilbert come at him. And this is where it's going to get interesting. Thompson just over half a second behind. We're on to the last lap. And this is getting very, very interesting indeed as Bradley Barrett makes a move up. I think now is that that's past Artur Horsch. I think he's made it up into the top 10 as Barrett. That's from 26 on the grid. Brad Barrett has taken a leaf out of Daniel Ginchard on a recovery drive and a half. That's a brilliant effort from Brad Barrett. Absolutely storming drive from the Suri Vitesse driver on the 327. We're coming into the closing moments of this race. Through turn 11 springs Matthew Higgins. And he's going to come around the final corner. The checkered flag is going to wave. It's 2 for 2 for Matthew Higgins. What a drive. Last time out he won it. He's done it again. He's put himself into a prime position for later on this afternoon. Matthew Higgins from Tregothlan in Wales makes it double trouble in senior Rotax victories by just 0.383 of a second. Harry Thompson takes second position ahead of Lewis Gilbert. So, well, I'm going to go a little bit off tangent. It's Wales from Great Britain, or Wales from England to Scotland. Mads Rees in fourth, Dylan LaHaye in fifth, Teddy Clinton in sixth, Emily de Hoys in seventh, Maurice Schuring in eighth, Robert de Haan recovers back to ninth place, Bradley Barrett rounds out the top 10, ahead of Jeff Michiels, Storm Brewer, Artur Horsch, Robin Knutsson, Victor Plateau, Christopher Saxer from Denmark, Yashram Jankan, Lars Zayner, Luca Thiel, Oscar Hall, Bart de Witt, Andreas Herbert, Harley Horton, Jaroslav Zimashka, Antoine Ontier, Senna Behetz, and Stefan Christiansen. But ladies and gentlemen, breaking news from Genk. It's 2 for 2 for Matthew Higgins. Paddock announcement. Could the following Minimax drivers report to the studio?